Welcome back everybody to more Advanced Wars 2. I'm Dan. I'm going to go through 3 more fairly tutorial-centric levels, but you can potentially lose these, just if you don't pay attention. So, we're going to have another kind of gorilla, ape, orangutan contest between Max and Flak. So it'll be mission number 4, Flak Attack. Now, we're going to skip all the text there because we really don't need it. So, the gist, thank you, Sammy, for this mission is it's trying to introduce the more complex part of air combat. Previously, we've only really seen that battlecopters do a lot against battlecopters. That's really about it. But we're now introduced to bombers and fighters. Well, kind of. We don't get to have those. Not yet, anyway. So bombers, all about everything not on, not in the sky, anything on land, anything in sea. If it gets the first attack, it's going to be winning. Whereas the fighter is kind of the exact opposite. It's very, very fast. It's the fastest moving unit in the game. But it can't hit land or naval units. It can only hit other air units. That being said, it's really unmatched in terms of the sky. Battlecopters can't touch them, can't touch bombers either. So we can either go super aggressive and use our battlecopter to attack one of theirs, or we can kind of run away and hide. We have missiles which, as Max, only have a range of 3 to 4. It's usually 3 to 5, but as we already know, Max gets a penalty to his maximum range. And we have anti-air units, which are very, very good, as you would guess, against the units in the air. But they're also arguably the best unit against infantry as well, which is an interesting trait to have. Now, really, we have 4 anti-airs. We don't need all 4 of these at full health. They only have 2 bombers and 4 battlecopters. The fighter is the main unit we want to get rid of, so we can utilize our battlecopters to just kind of wreck face. We can technically reach with our missiles, so we're just going to. So we'll be a guaranteed one-shot even with Max and his reduced firepower on his range units. Yes, he's okay. He's doing things fine. And the other thing we want to start doing immediately is capturing that property. You'll see why. Yes, there's rockets. Rockets, again, should have a range of 3 to 5, but because this is Max, they don't. Has a range of 3 to 4. They are a little bit better against most units than artillery, not a huge amount, but their big issue, and I haven't talked about it yet, they move on tires. Tire movement is pretty terrible. So for example, on this wood tile, it shows that infantry and mech have regular movement. They need 1 movement point to move 1 tile. Treads need 2, so it's twice as problematic for them, but tires are even slower than that. And most units, barring the recon on tires, are not fast moving. So that is really potentially crippling. Anyway, we're going to put the infantry over here. We're going to hide. The transport copter really doesn't want to deal with the fighter. And the bomber with the movement of 7 will be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So it can't hit the missile, which is why we went for it off the bat. Really, all we're going to be doing is hiding our battlecopter, because you'll see we can't really hide it perfectly. I can put an anti-air there, but it'll get hit by the bomber. Ideally, we wouldn't run into that problem, but again, they give us more anti-airs on this mission than you would really honestly ever need, and it's, again, because it's the tutorial. So we're going to move 1 over here to try and incentivize them coming towards our air units. And honestly, at this point, we're just going to put that in the forest. No, we'll leave it there to protect the... I'm going to do this. I had changed my mind. I'm flip-flopping already. We're just going to do that. That protects all of our air units. Now, you could just go over and capture the headquarters in this map, but again, routes are more fun. So I'll likely just be doing that. And bombers, although they will do an incredibly large amount of damage to anti-air even on the attack, it shouldn't be enough to wipe any of them out. So let's see. This is funny. This is the one bit of so the odd bit of text I do like in this game. But a soldier's basically telling Flak, hey, we don't have authorization to use these units. And his logic is, I'm just going to use them because they're there, despite having no training. We're also going to skip that because that's just him giving his own tutorial. This will hurt. It shouldn't be a one-hit kill, but it will hurt a lot. Yeah. Yeah, bombers will mince really anything on the attack. Alright. So, can't reach. Sad, but it doesn't actually matter that much. We want to capture this property, not that you wouldn't ever do that. But yes, we find something in there. So we find a map for the enemy lab. We'll talk about that more later. It'll create a new mission. We're not going to do it straight after this one. We'll cross that bridge when we get there. Meanwhile, conveniently, missiles only do 90% against bombers because this is max and he has that 10% penalty. That's still enough to wipe out the bomber now that it's having that fractional amount of recoil. So it actually really works out. Now, like I said, the big priority here is the fighter, but you'll notice fighters and indeed bombers, if I come over here, they're not quite a one-hit. Fighters have slightly more defensive capacity than bombers, not by a lot, obviously. But at this point, that bomber is irrelevant. We also have our CO meter. It's full, kind of. It's halfway. She's basically explaining we have access to our CO power if we really want to. Honestly, there's no point unless you want to try and one-shot that fighter. I mean, I guess I'll just show you for sake of argument. You get this slightly more energized music, I guess, for lack of a better term. But now, for example, it's going to do 77%, probably closer to 60 normally, just for some kind of context. And we are going to go for that just because, well, we don't want our mech to get hit on the, on the defense. This will almost certainly give Flak his superpower, but we really don't care. That 2-hit point anti-air is not really going to be very helpful, so we're just going to use our battlecopter to attack. That battlecopter is nearly a one-shot with his CO power, and in this case we actually got a very good luck roll, so it ended up being a one-shot. So that's pretty awesome. Now, in terms of what's left, we definitely have to attack the fighter. We still need a very good luck roll to one-shot this, and we didn't quite get it this time. We still did pretty well. You'll notice that there was only 0.2% left on that bar, so we still hit fairly well, just not quite as much as we wanted to. The only thing that's really kind of unfortunate here, and I knew it was going to happen, it's just kind of, what happens. 168% is quite a bit of overkill. We are going to have one of the opposing air units left. By attacking that tank, we really didn't have much of a choice. Although it's kind of tempting just to do that anyway. And I think we will. We have a possibility of having our anti-air taken out in return. Yeah, we do, but it really doesn't matter all that much. And then we're just going to move our transport copter. We'll just move it there so it's out of the way. I don't really want it to be attacked because if he uses his superpower, the battlecopter and the fighter between them might actually take my transport out, which would be a little unfortunate. Not disastrous, but just annoying, I guess. And we'll leave our rockets exactly where they are because they are totally useless. And Flak is going to use his superpower. Remember, it really just increases his range of what he could do. He could actually do significantly less damage if he gets unlucky. We'll see what happens. And because the AI is obsessed with going after transport copters, it will go for it by default. Honestly, with one hit point, the luck thing really doesn't matter at all. Because even if he gets a super lucky blow, you're barely going to notice it. And the battlecopters would probably do 4, maybe, damage normally, so we got a very good luck roll there, you see. I think the AI plays a lot more aggressively when Flak uses his superpower, but on this map you don't really see any sign of that because he barely has any units left by the time he gets the opportunity to show off his power. So that's perfectly fine. We definitely have to get an anti-air over there. We're just going to get this unit out of the way at this point. That one can't reach anything else, so it might as well take the battlecopter out there. It is very possible to take this mission out without losing a unit. I was just lazy. It's really all there was to it. I will be the first to admit that. We're going to have to use that anti-air to take out the 1 hit point fighter because nothing else can actually physically hit it. There we go. That's wonderful. And there is the distinct possibility of taking a little bit of recoil from this infantry, but I don't think it's going to matter. Yeah, he got a very lucky blow there. A 4 hit point infantry would be doing like half of 1, and he hit me for 2. The only thing that's going to be a little bit annoying about this, we're not going to take him out this turn just because of the way I placed all our units. We're going to have to wait 1 more turn, but then that's it. It's not a very difficult mission. None of the Orange Star ones really are. The one with the lab can be. We'll probably end up doing that in like 3 missions time or so. Just because it's Max and his indirect units suck, let's use the take it flak out. Why not? There we go. All right. Not a scratch, except for that 1 unit that blew up, but let's pretend. Oh, it's fine. Are we conveniently going to have him escape? Of course we are. That's how the COs in this game work. Bye. Yeah, more, very, very tit for tat. Not very great writing, honestly. We're going to skip the rest on. There's not anything else to say. There we go, another 300 point S. Nice and easy. That's really all that was. Super easy. Kind of fun. I kind of wish it was the other way around, where you got to play as bombers and fighters with Max, because they are very, very strong. But we will potentially do that in a few missions' time. We'll see how it goes. Anyway, we will tidy things up for now. I appreciate you guys watching the video as always, and if you did like it, throw a like, throw a subscribe if you want to. Otherwise, have a wonderful rest of your day, and take care. Thank you for watching the video.